Hi, welcome to Awarely Embodied Leadership's Self-Resourcing for Embodied Leaders series, and this is our practice on orienting. So to get settled, finding a place where you can have a little bit of space and quiet to get into this practice. So take a moment now, you might want to pause the video to get yourself comfortable. Maybe you find a seated position, maybe standing, maybe even sitting down. Just check in with the body and see what calls to you and makes sense. And then when you're ready, hit play again. So I'm going to take this practice sitting down. I'm at my desk right now. This is a great practice to integrate into your workday. So this is a great way to start to experiment with that. So we're going to start by just finding our body in space here. So I'm going to check in with my feet. I'm going to give them a little rock back and forth. I'm going to check in on both sides of the feet just so I can really notice my body in space. And then I'm also checking into the other contact points of where my body lands in the chair. So where my thighs touch the chair, and also just grounding a little bit into my back and finding maybe a little sway here. Just letting the nervous system do whatever it wants to do. And then once you feel like you've got a place where you can hang out for a little bit, then start to come into our first orientation system. So the first one that we're going to do here is our orientation system of sight. So go slow here. The intention is certainly not to take everything in at once. Remember, our intentions from the original intro lesson is we're trying to go slow in order to notice. So starting slowly, the name of the game here today, maybe start taking in the screen in front of you. So letting your eyes take a little look around and seeing if there's anything that might call to you to land on for a moment. Maybe there's a texture, a color, an object. And when you're ready, just checking in to see where your eyes might feel called to explore next. So for me, I've got a plant and a window that's right here, and it's really foggy. So I'm going to take that in a bit. And so we're experimenting with allowing our field of vision to expand. And as we do this, we're checking in to notice what happens in our system. So I feel a sense of expansiveness when I look out the window, and I can feel my shoulders starting to drop, my voice is slowing down, and I feel overall just a little bit more settled. But that may not be the experience for you. So it's checking in to see where you can find a little bit more ease. So my eyes are calling me to look over to the right, but yours may not do the same. Maybe yours go over to the left. Maybe they get called to go upwards. Or maybe they just want to stay on one fixed spot, and that's okay too. Sometimes our eyes want to land on something and go, nope, this is where I want to be right now, and just allow that as well. And so just hanging out wherever you are, again, noticing the subtleties that you might see, textures, colors, and then checking in again. Is there anything else your eyes might want to explore? So maybe it's a different direction. Maybe it's a different field of view, so you're looking closer towards you. Or maybe it's something that's a lot further away. And then slowly start to make your way back to center. So maybe that means coming back into the screen. Start to orient back into there. So taking in the sights of the screen, whatever is around that area. And then we're going to transition into our next orientation system, which is our orientation system of sound. So again, go slow. It's not to bring everything in all at once. It's coming in with curiosity about what we have access to in this moment. And so with sound, it can be something subtle. It can be the sound of my voice. Maybe it's the sound of your own breath. And again, start to get curious about what sounds you may want to explore. Are they sounds that are right in your immediate vicinity? So maybe that's the sounds of life in your house or office, or wherever you are. Maybe that's sounds that are outside of the space you're in, like on the street, or sounds in nature. Maybe there's some wind or rain. Maybe there's some cars, some people going by. And like we did with our orientation system of sight, start to see if there's anything that your system wants to land on. Maybe there's something that feels a little bit more accessible and brings a little bit more ease. And if there isn't, that's okay too. Come back to any places you found a little bit more access and ease. And then when you're ready, starting to bring our awareness back again. So if your awareness is out in the space far from you, start to bring it back into your immediate vicinity. Maybe that's tuning back into the sound of my voice. And maybe that's coming into the sound of your own breath. And just take a pause and notice, how did this orientation system land in your nervous system? And just notice any sensations or shifts that might have come up. And then from here, we will check into our last orientation system for today, which is our sense of touch. And this can be a very subtle sensation. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to put your hands on the body or touch anything else. It can just be tuning into the subtle things to start with. So I might think of the temperature of the room on my skin. I might think of where my hair touches my face right here. Or maybe the sensation of my headphone in my ear. Or maybe it's coming back into the original grounding we did, which is the feet on the floor, and where my body contacts the chair. Maybe that brings in a bit of movement, and just allow that to happen if it's called to. And again, getting curious, are there any different types of touch you might want to experiment with? So maybe that's hands on the thighs. This is a great one to do if you're in a meeting or a conversation, especially on Zoom. No one will know you're doing it. Maybe it's grounding back into the chair again, and this is a great feedback point for grounding the nervous system. And then, yeah, checking in if there's anything else you might want to explore. And as we kind of come to the end of this practice, the invitation is also to revisit any of the systems that you felt you had a little bit more access or ease to. So maybe you're revisiting your sense of sight, or maybe it's your sense of sound. So I have more access to my sense of sight right now, so I'm going to reorient to my space here. And my eyes are landing outside. It's a beautiful foggy day, and yeah, it's a nice peaceful place to look. And when you're ready, coming back to center, bringing your awareness back in, and just again taking a moment and a pause to notice. This is our key theme, noticing what's coming up in the body. What sensations might you notice? And notice any shifts. Great. And when you're ready, we'll bring this practice to a close. And I'll see you on the other side for taking away some of our learning edges and our learning intentions so that we can integrate this into the way we work and live. Thanks very much, everyone.